Okay guys, so this is the Masonry Defender stamped concrete sealer. You can kind of see it does look like it's got a little bit more shine. Highly recommended. Product and stamped concrete. Hi guys, are you thinking about getting a stamped concrete patio? Or maybe you already have one? It is a beautiful option for any backyard, for gatherings, and to help accentuate that beauty in your backyard and to have some good times. But it does take a little bit of maintenance. You are supposed to seal that patio every year or two to help maintain the concrete and keep that beauty that you invested in. So here we have a 7-year-old stamped concrete patio that we love. Spend a lot of time here and have people over, and we get a lot of compliments about it. We love it, and it's time for it to be resealed. It was sealed really nicely at first, and about 5 years in, so 2 years ago, I resealed it with a really good product. It went really well, turned out great, looked fantastic. I'll show you that product, the process I went through, and the process I'm gonna go through to seal this product, as well as the tools used today on Dad Jobs DIY. And we would greatly appreciate if you could subscribe to our channel, Dad Jobs DIY, where we're always trying to come up with new videos that are helpful for all you dads, moms, and DIYers out there to help you guys get the job done. Thanks, now let's get started. I showed you what the patio looked like normally. A lot of debris, a lot of toys, and stuff. This is what the patio looks like without anything. So the first thing is to clear off the patio. A lot of stuff, could take a few minutes, but needs done. Now, when you have it all cleaned off, you'll find that the patio is dirty. You might find this, where the concrete, the top of the concrete is starting to wear away a little bit. See that? You can still feel a good amount of that sealant. You know, it's a smooth sealant. It's like a eggshell, I guess you could say. But I mean, there's a lot. We have our dryer vent here, so a lot of just lint collects here. And there's gonna be dirt that finds its way into those crevices. This patio needs cleaned and then sealed. So we're going to power wash it first, and then get a roller, and I'll show you the product we're gonna use to seal it, and you'll see what a good job it does protecting and sealing your patio. So in the sun, you could see the glisten of the sealant, and it gets in those crevices. That's kind of the hard part. That's why we're going to use a very thick roller. Look, dead worms, you know, all this stuff needs cleaned off. It's been a couple years. Also, there's lots of pollen, grass. I just cut the grass. One of the biggest things is this pollen. Just lays on everything. I'll show you it on the patio furniture. It's just gross and covers everything. So we're gonna power wash this baby and get it protected and sealed and looking shiny. One more thing, so on our steps, not sure what happened or if it was a different mix, but we did have all this pitting from almost the first year that our patio had it. And this, you could feel this step actually still has sealant on it, but for some reason, I don't know, in the rain, it's not just the rain, because otherwise this would also have gotten pitted. So it was the mix in our step. It's all right, you know, we understand, you know, it could look a lot better, but it's okay. It does add more texture to a textured patio. So either which way, we want to seal that to make sure it doesn't get any worse. All right, let's get to power washing. Okay guys, so this is the product that we're going to be applying to this stamped concrete patio. This is the Masonry Defender stamped concrete sealer. Protects stamped concrete, decorative concrete surfaces, easy application and rapid dry time, which is really good. We are in Ohio, so it could rain at any time. It protects against color fade. It's attractive, semi-gloss or satin finish. Can be applied over previous coatings. Eco-friendly water-based formula, non-yellowing, and clear finish. So Couple notes on this thing. This is my jug that had about a little less than half left over last time. So I used about little, I don't know, 1 2/3. So I did get 2 nude bottles this time. We're gonna use this one up and then move on to this one. So I will probably have a little bit of extra, but that's okay. Could probably do an extra coat or just have it saved for a year or 2. So a couple notations on this thing. To say to make sure that everything is clean and that it has been dried, thoroughly dried, and that rainfall is not predicted within the next 8 hours of application. You can't do it, apply it when temperatures are below 50 degrees, and best if it's less than 90 degrees. Make sure to remove dust, dirt, grease, oil, efflorescence, wax, curing compounds, coatings, and foreign matter. Obviously, make sure it's clean. Okay, so for application, you can use a sprayer. If you have a paint sprayer, you can utilize that, or you can utilize a roller and paint tray. It does say to give it 4 hours before the second coat so that the first coat thoroughly dries. Does block all drains and use absorptive coverings to contain runoff or excess material. 1 gallon bucket covers about 100 to 150 square feet. And that sounds about right compared to what we did last time. Might have used a little bit more, a little extra. So maybe err on the side of 150 square feet if you really want to make sure that it's covered and sealed. The dry time is 1 to 2 hours, but about 4 to 6 hours before you have foot traffic. So you're planning on walking all over it this evening, might not be good to do it in the afternoon. If you're going to be doing it tomorrow, it should be fine. It does say give it 4 to 6 or about 6 days before any heavy traffic, like if you're going to drive on it, if you have a concrete patio or concrete in your driveway or garage, I guess, or if you're trying to utilize a digger or something around here, anything with wheels, 6 days before you really do anything with that. So, all right, that is the Masonry Defender stamped concrete sealer. Got 2.5 jugs. That should be more than enough to cover my concrete patio. I'll get a quick estimate on the square footage. I forget what it is, but I'll put it here at this point, and there it is. And we'll get started power washing the patio for preparation. All right, let's go. Here's the patio, all power washed. This part has gotten more wear for some reason, so it's darker, but it's okay, still looks pretty good. Even got the power wash under the gazebo and in the gazebo a little bit. And thanks to our neighbor Steve, who just got a brand new power washer, more powerful than mine and actually runs. This is probably the cleanest this patio has been since the day it was poured. Looks good. All right, now we gotta let it dry and then get to sealing it. All right, let's go. Okay guys, so day 2. Essentially finished power washing the other day, and it started raining and couldn't get the opportunity to actually seal the patio. So I just power washed the patio one more time just to get any lasting debris that got on it over the last 24 hours. And it's been drying, just about ready to go. Last few pieces of it are drying. I've even moved this gazebo out to try and get the sun on it in a couple places that needed it. And as soon as it's dry, that's when we can actually start to seal. So I'll show you real quick what it looks like here before sealing, and then we'll get to sealing it. All right, let's go. All right, guys, so here's the patio, now dried, power washed one last time, like a quick layer, didn't have to get real deep on it. Still looking good. Needs to be sealed for sure. It showed some areas of where the top layer of the design, the details, and the sealant, the previous sealant, have worn away. Definitely could see some here, right here. You know, but it'll still look really good once it's sealed. Gives it a little bit more of a rustic, vintage look. Stone for sure. So that's what it looks like, primed and ready to go to be sealed. All right, let's get going. All right, guys, so we are ready to start sealing this concrete patio. So I bought 2 more gallons of this Masonry Defender sealant that we've talked about. I noticed that this one is a satin finish, and the one I had previously was this semi-gloss finish. So it's a little bit different of a finish. I'm probably going to try to integrate the semi-gloss into the satin finish just to kind of use it up and I guess give it a little bit more of a shine. So I'm going to pour into this 9-inch normal paint roller tray. I got a nice 9-inch paint roller as well as a steel extension pole that I can dip in and just roll it out. We're gonna go to town. All right, so it does say mix thoroughly before use. We're just gonna shake it up. It's like a white milky substance. We're gonna be pouring this a lot, so you can put the lid back on if you want. If not, it's okay. You're gonna be pouring it probably every few minutes. So this satin finish is more of like a not as milky looking. All right, so I got this 1 1/4 inch better 9-inch nap roller that is for thick rough surfaces. So we're going to use this on here to really try and get in the crevices, get in those little nooks and crannies, and it's going to go sliding right onto our roller here. Nice little locking system, nice and thick and fluffy. All right, let's go to town. Can you see the difference in the shade or in the glisten of the sun? This line right here where the sealant is, and then over here where it's not. Hopefully that's coming off on the camera. You can definitely see that milky residue all through here in this corner. So now we're gonna do back there by the steps and then come back up here. But first we gotta re-pour. Like I said, gonna need to pour many times and often. Okay guys, so a couple quick notes. There are sometimes gonna have these really deep lines, crevices that kind of make it look like stone. For these really deep ones, sometimes going across it like this, we're talking about this one right here, isn't gonna really get in there. You kind of want to go with the grain and kind of like let that round roller get into the deep crevice part. And then for these areas along the house, so I like using the open end, not the end with the bar, to kind of go along the house like this. And once you have a fresh, full roll, you know, where it's soaked in, go like this and kind of like really put pressure to push it and let the excess kind of seep into those little gaps along the edges. And you can kind of see the line of where, especially right here, that whiteness, that is the sealant kind of huddling up a little bit on the edge, which is okay, that's good. It'll dry and be a nice hard sealant along the edge. So let's keep it going. Okay guys, try and give you a little bit of a close-up. You can see like the white milky residue on this one. That's the sealant. And it's like kind of laying pretty nice. As I was doing it, sometimes it'll bubble up a little bit. You can see it like that. Especially if it's the first roll and it's thick. You can see that glaze really starting to come out there. It's coming good. Okay guys, so I am about at my last little bit of this one, a little bit of this one. Again, I've been mixing about half of this with this as I've been going through to give it a little extra shine. This is the semi-gloss, this is the satin, about 2 satins this time. So I've actually done pretty much everything other than this main big square in the center and then this tip in the front. So I've gotten under the gazebo over there, under the tip over there, and then the tip over there. So I'm gonna use this up and then probably break into that other second bottle. And then I'll probably have a little bit extra to maybe do a couple little second coats on different areas. I definitely won't have enough to do the whole patio again in a second coat, but I'll at least be able to maybe touch up a couple things if I see a little thin spots, or maybe even just the high traffic areas, throw a second coat in over there. So, all right, let's get going. We'll finish this up. All right, guys. Well, that's a wrap on the first coat of the Mason Defender stamped concrete sealer. You could definitely see a nice shine, glisten. It is still drying. It just got applied. I'm gonna probably do a little bit of touch-upping a little bit later, but went pretty good. That 1 1/4 nap roller absolutely does a fantastic job. I think it cut my time in half from what I did last year or 2 years ago. So went really good, and I'll let you know how it goes when I get that second coat on. But so far, that is generally how it's going to be done. 2-step process. 1, you do have to clean that patio. 2, then you can apply the sealer. Nice to have a blower, get some of that debris. It is natural. It's inevitable that you're going to get, especially if the grass goes right up to your patio, you're going to get a little bit of grass here and there in it, but it's okay. It'll fall off. It will be pulled out or integrated into the seal. But either which way, hopefully this was helpful, and I will do a follow-up finish right after this. Hey guys, good morning. All right, so it's day 3 of doing the ceiling of this concrete, stamped concrete patio. So got the full first coat on. I don't have enough to do a full second coat, and I don't think it needs it. You know, many of the already well-maintained areas or the less trafficked areas are already showing a very nice shine, nice sheen, and feeling smooth. You can actually, so in the morning there's a little bit of dew on the grass and my shoes are already a little bit squeaky on it. So, you know, it's cool, it's good there. One other little tip, so to not have to wash the roller and get, you know, clearing out all the other excess sealant out of the nap, you can actually cover it in a plastic bag so the air doesn't really get to it. I did it from this way and from this way with the tray inside, so that should be able to give us the ability to still utilize this roller without having to have cleaned it out prior. So I'm gonna open this up, get some of the sealant back in the tray, and I'm gonna touch up some of the areas that were a little bit rougher, the higher trafficked areas. One, because we're still gonna be using those higher traffic areas, but also some of the more exposed concrete from before is still rougher and not this smooth, shiny feel. So want to protect those areas as best as possible. We're gonna give it a second coat. So, all right guys, I'm gonna show you how to pour, dip, and cover those extra areas. Let's go. Okay, so take this off here. Looks all right. Looks like this has almost a sealant in that middle part. I actually put a little hole in this and slid this all the way down. Yep, and it's still wet. And now my fingers are gonna be sticky. That's okay. All right, so this is the last little bit of the semi-gloss. Get this in here. Might get 1 or 2 trays out of this. Fill the rest up with the satin. So when you're filling your brush or your roller, make sure it's tightened. I'm kind of dipping it and then rolling it backwards, kind of to fill it up, and then rolling it on the tilt, on the slant, to try and just get some of that excess out of it so it's just not dripping wet. But that's how you do it. All right, then we can go to town. Let's go. Okay, so one specific area I wanted to show you was here. This rough concrete area showed you at a different part of the day, so this shadow wasn't here, but this concrete area is still pretty rough. You can see it's got a sealant on it, you know, from the first coat, but it's not the same texture as this smooth texture. So we're gonna try and give it a second coat here and see how it looks. So I'm gonna give you a little bit closer look here at these higher trafficked areas. This concrete here is rougher. It's not smooth like here. This is rougher. You know, it got sealed, but it is not the same, and probably needs at least another coat, if not 2 more coats. So we're gonna do our best to get it. Okay guys, so we have our finished concrete patio. Stamped concrete patio has been sealed. I even did a second run over here on the step and then along the house over to under the gazebo, the high traffic area. I gave it a second coat. You can kind of see it does look like it's got a little bit more shine. It might be just the reflection of the sun, I don't know, but either which way, it is done. Even some of the rougher concrete areas do feel nice and smooth from the extra coat. So even though it has that look, it is a smooth coat. So I do highly recommend this Mason Defender product. It looks great. It definitely brought out the color and the detail that, you know, looks like it's more fresh instead of 7 years old. Also, some people might be a little concerned about stamped concrete patio because of if you seal it, it's going to be slippery. I've never really had that issue with this Masonry Defender. There's a little bit of a squeak, but I'd say unless it's wet and you got like bad shoes, it's not slippery. I'm not, like, if I dig in, it's grabbing into the concrete. So highly recommended product and stamped concrete. Thanks guys for joining. Please leave a comment down below if this video was helpful for you. Again, I will have a link to the products that were used in the description. And please like and subscribe. We appreciate all of your support. We do this channel for all of you moms, dads, and DIYers out there. We'll see you on the next Dad Jobs DIY adventure. All right? Thanks guys. Have a great one.